Well, Jericho here. This is my observation. Many of the American people have proven by their actions that they can be controlled by tyrants. Under the propaganda, it's for the greater good. Tyrants love propaganda. That's how they manipulate. They convince you that their mandate, their decision, that their power, the things that they execute is for the greater good. Well, that's what dictators do. Tyrants, bullies, pharaohs, monarchs. It's for the greater good. So most of the American people have proven that they can be manipulated by propaganda. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with this COVID-19. I'm not saying there's not a strain of flu out there, SARS, whatever you want to call it. Listen closely. Every year, according to the definition of a pandemic, which is global, every year we have a pandemic during flu season. Because flu season is a global issue. It is estimated that upwards of 61,000 people die every year from the flu, influenza A or B. 61,000 people in the United States have died. I believe the winter of 2017-18, somewhere in there was over 80,000. So the numbers can fluctuate. But nevertheless, upwards of 750,000 to 1 million people die every year of influenza globally. So that means every flu season we have a pandemic. And you can't tell me that people that are traveling to other nations during flu seasons, they don't take the flu there or bring the flu back to the United States, to their families, to their workplaces, wherever. It's a pandemic. Because it's global. Every year this happens. However, this is the first year that the tyrants in this country decided to use the propaganda to wield their power and show you just exactly what your freedom means. To show you just exactly how they revere the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. To show you that they are your master. You've heard me quote this, but Thomas Jefferson said that freedom is having the ability to choose and explore the alternatives of choice. He said that if an individual does not experience true freedom by that ability to choose, then you become a member, a thing, an instrument, and not a person, not a man, not a human being. I sent an email to the governor of the state of Ohio, one of about 4 or 5, and I told him how much of a liar that he was, and how he had spread his propaganda and used his tyrannical power to shut businesses down that he deemed, on a political stage, is non-essential. Isn't that something that one man or a group of people or a political party can decide what businesses are essential and which ones that are not essential. The moment that decision was made proved that you don't have the power of choice. Now, in a true land of the free and the home of the brave, those that believed in that would have stood up and said, "You're on your own, pal. We're a free people. We will decide how we want to handle our businesses, our employment, not you. You're supposed to use the Constitution to protect our freedoms, not mandate according to your propaganda, and totally circumvent the Bill of Rights." After all of these years, liberty, the ability to choose, the ability to understand individual sovereignty in the context of accountability and responsibility, is still warred against. And people say, well, you're not being responsible if you don't wear a mask. Really? Well, as I said, every flu season, then everybody should be wearing masks. Because you can't tell me that during flu season, individuals have passed that flu, whether it be A, B, or whatever it is. You can't tell me that individuals have not passed that flu to a family member, a friend, someone at the store, someone at work, and they suffered greatly and maybe even died as a result of it. But this is the first year since Trump became elected that all of a sudden the tyrants rose up and said, we're going to proclaim a pandemic, and we're going to shut everything down that we want to shut down. We're going to mandate what people are going to do. How convenient. Tyrants, bullies, anti-Americans. But freedom is the ability to choose and explore the alternatives of choice. So the American people have proven that they're just a member of a political party. They're just a member of some state that they reside in. They're just an instrument to be manipulated and used by those in authority. You're just a thing, just a thing. You've lost your humanity. You've lost your identity. You've lost your American freedom. They've proven it. I guarantee you, if every American would have stood up and said, look, people get sick every flu season. People die every flu season. Thousands of people die every single day of the year. We're going to let this thing run its course. You know, here's the thing. How many times have you went to the doctor when you had flu before, a cold, pneumonia? Not saying they don't give you medicine or whatever, antibiotic, but what do they tell you? Well, you're just going to have to let it run its course. They say, well, this COVID is more aggressive. Well, any type of flu, depending on a person's immune system and the ability to fight it off, their own personal constitution, as far as their health content, any person is going to be affected by a coronavirus in different ways. I've had the flu before, and it just seemed to knock the legs right out from under me. I've had the flu before also, and I just passed through it with hardly any real severe symptoms. It just depends. But they can take that mask and shove it. Because like I said, how come they've never done this before? Sure, I'll wash my hands. I do that all the time anyway. I don't get in somebody's face. What about all the things that we touch that is carcinogenic? Just about everything. So we deal with epidemics, pandemics every day of the year in some form or another. Some person or some group of people or some nation is dealing with sickness and death every single day. So I'm saddened by many Americans that have bowed their knee to the tyrants of their political party. You're just a member. You're just an instrument. You're just a thing. I'm saddened.